All right, let's dive into this. We're going to explore one of the most fundamental and surprisingly dramatic skills in the entire world of spreadsheets. Seriously, forget what you think you know about formulas, because today we're telling a story of kings, challengers, and a modern heir that completely changed the game.
But first, why should you even care about a spreadsheet formula? Well, here's the thing. Hiring managers do. Just take this comment from Reddit. They're not just looking for people who can type numbers in. They want critical thinkers who can actually manage data. And what's at the top of their list? Lookups. So yeah, this isn't just about Excel. This is a foundational career skill.
To really get where we are now, you've got to understand where we've been. And for decades, the spreadsheet world was ruled by one undisputed monarch, the long-reigning king of lookups, VLOOKUP.
So, what is it? At its core, VLOOKUP is actually pretty simple. The best way to think of it is like a digital phone book. You give it a name, or, any unique ID, and it just scans down that first column to find it. Then bam, it moves across the row to grab the piece of info you need, like a phone number or an address. Simple enough, right?
And for a really long time, this was it. This was enough. If you worked with Excel, you knew VLOOKUP. I mean, it was the standard, the default, the one formula that pretty much every student and professional was taught. Its reign was absolute.
But in the high-stakes world of professional consulting and data analysis, a challenger started to emerge from the shadows. And it wasn't just a single formula. It was this powerful combination that created a famous, almost mythical rivalry. And this rivalry, it got so intense it literally became a meme in professional circles. Knowing which formula to use was kind of like a secret handshake. On one side, you had the old guard, totally loyal to the king. And on the other side, you had this more advanced, more sophisticated combination, index match. This was seen as the mark of a true Excel pro. This was the tool that separated the casual users from the real experts.
So why the big debate? Why did all the pros switch? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Index match wasn't just a different way of doing things, it was a better way. I mean, just look at this. It was more powerful, way more flexible, a lot less likely to give you errors, and it was dramatically faster. It basically solved all of VLOOKUP's biggest headaches.
Right, so this rivalry didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It existed because the old king, for all his popularity, had some pretty critical weaknesses. We're talking flaws that could take a perfect spreadsheet and turn it into a complete data disaster. And these weren't just little quirks. These were fatal flaws that drove users crazy for years. So think about this. VLOOKUP can only look to the right. That's a huge limitation. It's fragile. Add one new column and your whole formula breaks. Its default setting can give you the wrong answer without any warning. And on top of all that, it's just slow.
Here is a classic, and I mean devastating example of how VLOOKUP just falls apart. So your formula is working perfectly, right? It's set to pull data from column 4 to get someone's salary. Then your colleague inserts a new column, like hire date. The formula doesn't know any better. It still pulls from the 4th column, but now that column is department. And just like that, your data is completely and silently wrong.
And that performance issue I mentioned, yeah, that's not a small thing. On big datasets, we're talking about index match being over 500 times faster. Let that sink in. Imagine waiting like 8 minutes for a calculation to finish versus getting the answer in 1 second. That's the kind of difference we're talking about here. Okay, so all these flaws, they created a power vacuum. The world needed a true successor to the throne, something that had VLOOKUP's ease of use, but the power of index match. And then, in 2019, Microsoft finally delivered it. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. This is straight from Microsoft's official documentation. They themselves call XLOOKUP an improved version, and they explicitly recommend it as the modern replacement. So yeah, the king was dead. Long live the king. XLOOKUP wasn't just some minor update, no way. It was designed from the ground up to be a direct answer to every single one of VLOOKUP's problems. It can look left. Its default is a safe, exact match. It's smart enough to adapt when you add new columns. It's got built-in error handling. You can even search from the bottom of your data up to the top. This was the successor everyone had been waiting for. So, what does this whole saga, this evolution from VLOOKUP all the way to XLOOKUP, what does it mean for you and the skills you should be focusing on right now? The verdict is pretty clear.
right? If you have a modern version of Excel, XLOOKUP should be your new default lookup function, period. But history still matters. You'll still want to know VLOOKUP because you're going to run into it in older files, and it's still good to understand index match so you can make sense of those super complex models built by the pros back in the day.
And remember that Reddit thread we started with? Well, the world has moved on. Recruiters aren't just looking for VLOOKUP anymore. As this user pointed out, for modern data jobs, XLOOKUP is now a required skill on the pre-screening test. The job market has officially crowned the new king.
The world of data never, ever stands still. The tools, the best practices, they're always evolving. And this whole lookup saga is just perfect proof of that. So the only real question left is the one right here. VLOOKUP is history. Are your skills keeping up?